Hey garden friends, it's Destry. Welcome back to my Oregon yard today. It is a beautiful spring day here in mid-March, and I thought I would take you through and show you some spring blooming bulbs this beautiful time of year. So stick around and let's see what's blooming in my Oregon yard today. So back in the fall of last year, I spent a lot of time planting bulbs, spring blooming bulbs here in my yard. And I would highly encourage you, if you have never done the process of planting bulbs in the fall so that you have flowers in the spring, to definitely try it. It is so rewarding. It's definitely worthwhile. So it's funny to think that just a few months ago, I was digging in the dirt and it was muddy and it was cold and rainy, and I was, thinking about the time when I would have this beautiful spring color in my yard, and yet here we are. So I want to take you around and show you some of the things that are blooming today. All right guys, so I'm going to start here with these gorgeous tulips. Now I got my tulips from two different places last year. The first one was from a local company here in Oregon in conjunction with the Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival, which I will be attending again this year. And after we attended the event, I went ahead and placed an order, and you can see these gorgeous tulips are part of that order. So they're nice and opened up. Now they did get a little damage from an ice storm that we had, so you can see some of the foliage is a little damaged, but overall I feel like they did really, really well, and they're all opening. They're a great, big tulip, nice full-sized, and this beautiful kind of peachy pink color. So I'll try to look back at that planting video and see if I can come up with the name of the exact varietal for you. Super excited to be attending the Tulip Festival again this year up in Woodburn, Oregon. So that video will be coming soon. Here we've got some daffodils. Most of the daffodils, I got the bulbs from Costco, I believe, for most of the daffodils. So these ones are just a bright cherry yellow. So I have a little patch here of daffodils. Also, as far as things that are coming up for the spring, here are some peonies, and I did get new peony cages this year. I really liked the look of these. These are from Gardener Supply. You can see I have another peonies breaking dormancy here, and then I have another peony here. But the peony cages I had before weren't as sturdy and they weren't as big, so I'm hoping those peony cages will, support the flowers that are going to be coming up. There's a few more daffodil bulbs right in this area. Looks like one little short one's blooming, and daffodils will perennialize for me and they will come back year after year. I also have this little patch here. So you can see in this bed, having the tulips and the daffodils, it's really adding a lot of spring color. My Japanese maple is all budded up as well. So the sun has really been coming out these last couple days and really doing some favors here to my spring yard. I also have a peonies here, which I'm waiting on a second type of trellis from Gardener Supply that I'll be re-trellising that one with something else, but the peonies is coming up there. I'm going to use that particular trellis here for something else that will grow up a little bit more, but I thought I would put it there for now. And also just noticed that my hydrangea is starting to break dormancy as well. Just a tiny little bit there, a tiny little bit of green, but this bed is looking really, really good. This is one of my Vigo garden beds, and I did plant it up with, I believe they were Costco bulbs of hyacinth and daffodils. Now these daffodils are a little bit smaller and they have more of an orange center to them, but they're absolutely gorgeous, really, really sweet flowers. And I don't know that I'll keep all of these here. I might end up moving them once the blooms are done, but I just love that purple and yellow mix here. And then, not to do bulbs necessarily, but I did plant up these 3 pots. So they're really beautiful, showing off some spring color with some pansies and some primroses. It's giving me a lot of pops of color here in my yard this spring. So I'm excited to have those colors as well coming up. In this bed over here, I definitely have lots of things happening, even though it doesn't look like much. You can see I've got all my allium bulbs coming back. So there's a clump here, a clump here, here, here. And I can tell from the clumps that these alliums are going to put on quite a show for me this year. They are definitely, you know, developing and probably increasing in numbers. I've got my catmint coming back up there, more alliums here, some Shasta daisies, and then more catmint. I also have a Russian sage in this bed that will perennialize, or that is perennialized and will come back. But I'm really excited to see all these alliums pop out of the ground anytime here. Over here in my greenhouse, amongst all the dog toys, I have some pots with tulips. I believe one of these is red. So this one is tulips. These are more daffodils that are getting ready to bloom. And then these ones have tulips and alliums. So these are some really big alliums in the middle and more tulips. So more updates on these 3 pots, or 4 pots, I should say. This one back here, though, is fully in bloom, and I love these. The size of these is beautiful. I love the dual color of these, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. So it's really fun to plant bulbs in the fall in pots, and that way you can enjoy these spring flowers. Back here in this shady bed, I have more daffodils that have come up. These are more of those kind of smaller varieties. I think this was maybe another Costco bag here, but and then my hydrangeas have started to break dormancy. And so again, just little shoots of spring color there to let you know that they are coming. But I love this back here, all that yellow and orange. And then in the front here, I have more alliums. Now these are not the big like globe alliums. These ones are more, they're smaller. They're called a drumstick allium. So far, they're a little messy looking for me, but I'm excited to see them bloom and give me some color in this bed. This little raised garden bed is starting to come alive. Definitely have some pansies that are coming back. Now these ones have been outdoors pretty much all winter, and they have done really well coming back. So I'm excited to see some color in this bed. And then as far as my primroses here, I did lose, it looks like 2 of them here on the side. So I'll have to pick up a few more just to replace them. And but other than that, I have been, you know, kind of taking off the spent blooms, and they seem to be doing pretty well here. I also realized that this cocoa liner that I got is not the right size, so I need to look for a bigger one next time I go to the garden center. My raspberry bush is pushing new growth. It is starting to come back, and these are some garlic plants which are doing really good in these 2 pots. Over here on this bed, I still have my hellebores, kind of going for it. Still getting some blooms, although they're kind of done for their season, I believe, but they're still really pretty, and so I'm enjoying those. And then over here, I do have some summer blooming bulbs that I planted, which are starting to come up out of the ground. Unfortunately, my dogs tend to run on them, so I'm gonna work on kind of fencing this area here, because I have noticed that they are starting to get a little broken, like this guy. Ooh, I hope I can save him. He's totally busted. So, you know, ones like this, I need to kind of protect them from the dogs running through. Over here, I've got my Daphne in full bloom. Well, maybe not full, but it's definitely blooming. Here we've got a really pretty bloom. You can see this kind of stalk here. If I pick it up, it's just got blooms all along it, and it smells so amazing. So I'm excited to see that the Daphne is doing really well in this spot. So this is probably a pretty big focal area of my backyard here, and I have to say I am loving the show, even though I wish there was a little bit more color. These are some that I got from the Tulip Festival, and they're kind of a different type of tulip, where they kind of are more pointy. They're definitely not that round kind of cup shape. They're more spiky on the top, I guess, but I do love the color of them. And I just wanted to kind of show you this variety. So I'll try to pop exactly which variety it is down on the screen. And then I also have some of these coming up. So I believe this was another variety from that Tulip Festival. They kind of have almost like a green. I don't know if this one's fully in bloom, but I feel like the outside is a little yellow green still, but it looks like the inside's gonna be a really pretty coral color. So I only have one of those coming up so far. And then lots of daffodils. But you can see these sort of pointed ones. Here's another one here that's gonna pop. So they're definitely coming. I have at least 1, 2, I see 3, 4, 5. So there definitely is going to be more show in this bed as we get into spring here. Another sure sign of spring is the mason bee house is full of activity. Might be hard to see, but you can see there's lots going on, lots of bees coming in and out, lots of bees hatching dormancy, and they're just so much fun. This mason bee house has been really great for us. Now, we've had it for a couple years now, and I have done a little bit of research that you need to kind of clean them and replace them every so often. So I'll have to look into that this year, but it really is amazing to see how they all just start flying in and out on these warm days. All right, so here in the front, these are all tulips, and unfortunately these got kind of the brunt of that ice storm that we had. So you can see they're kind of stunted. Unfortunately, I don't think I planted them deep enough, and so they were kind of up when we had that crazy ice, and they just took a lot of damage. But I'm hoping I get a few blooms. I don't know. I'm not sure. Once like this, I'm thinking maybe, but we'll find out in the next week or two if they decide to put on a show for us. On this side, we do have some healthier looking ones though. There's some daffodils popping up here and more tulips. Now this is a different variety, I think, and they seem to be doing much better in this area. Have a little pop of muscari here. And then up in here, we've got some more daffodils and tulips that are coming up. This is along my entryway. And I did pull my elephant ear out of the garage. This is my elephant ear plant that I tried overwintering, and I noticed it did have some new growth that was happening. So I got to get it watered. And I put it out in the sun here so that it could potentially come back. But it's exciting to see these tulips popping up here on this side of my entry. And then on this side of the entry, more daffodils than tulips, I would say. There's a few daffodils back in here. And this area gets more shade, so the bulbs don't usually do quite as good on this side. So we'll see how that goes. I do have some containers of daffodils I did, and these ones are getting ready to bloom. These ones up here are in full bloom. So if you haven't ever tried just putting some, again, some spring bulbs in some pots and just let them hang out over the winter, and then they will pop up in the spring. It's a really inexpensive way to have a nice display here in the front of the spring bulbs. It's really, really nice and provides a lot of color. And then my little Easter basket that I put together is still really doing good. I kind of forget to water it, so I got to come out here and water it, but it looks like the pansies are doing really well, a little bit better than the primrose did, but it's still looking pretty good. So yeah, everything out here is going all right. And then let me take you around and show you a few more other things. So in this bed, I've got Shasta daisies, these clumps here, and then daylilies, which will be coming back. But right here in the front, I planted a lot more tulips, and most of them are doing pretty good, but they're not getting a lot of sun, so I'm not sure how they'll do. But if you kind of look here, you can see them scattered around this area. So because of the shade, I'm not sure how they'll do, but I'm hoping that I will get some tulips in this area as well. In this area, I have my some alliums planted, some allium bulbs that are coming up. And there's a little clump there and a little clump there, and then a little bit of muscari here. So, and then on the side yard, I did more alliums, so you can kind of see them coming up. Here's a clump here. Oh, these ones have little heads on them, so they will be coming up. There's some there. This is a iris that's coming up, and then some alliums here. There's two there, and then a couple there. So this area will have some spring interest here with the alliums soon. My forsythia is in full bloom right now. It looks gorgeous, so that's really fun. All right, guys, it's been probably 3 days since I shot the last video of my tulips, and I just had to come out here and show you them in full bloom. They are absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy with them. I think that they're gorgeous. Oh, I'm so in love. I don't know where this guy came from. He's the odd man out. He might have got mixed up in the wrong bunch, but I think it's such a beautiful show. I'm so excited. So let me show you what the other ones are looking like just a few days from the first video. Okay, so here is the other bunch, and you can see I've had 2 here that did not bloom. Maybe a couple more in there, but for the most part, they're all up and beautiful. They're like such a vibrant, like coral color. I just love them. They're gorgeous. The daffodils are still putting on a show as well over in this area. They're looking great. And then the hyacinth over here is just really fully opened up. This one's even tipped over a little bit. It smells so good. It's really pretty. All right, guys, well, that's going to be it for this tour today. So here's my plan for this video. I am going to shoot another video showing the similar or same bulbs here in about another week, and then another week after that. So 1 week from now and 2 weeks from now, just to show you the difference of time and how things continue to develop as far as, you know, more tulips blooming, alliums blooming, and things like that. So stay tuned for more updates as we go. And so this will be part 1 in a 3-part series of updating you on some of my spring flowers here in my Oregon yard. So thanks for checking out the video. If you liked it, if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you need me, I'll be hanging out in my Oregon yard. See you guys later. Bye.